Okay, so your school just gave the green light for a new AI platform. Awesome, right? It's secure, it's been approved, and everyone's excited. But, and this is a big but, there's a huge difference between the school's technical approval and your personal professional responsibility. And honestly, figuring out what that difference is could be the thing that saves your career.
Look, you're using AI for all the right reasons. You want to create amazing lessons, you want to support your students, but here's the thing. Even when your school says a tool is safe to use, every single time you type something in, you are putting your professional neck on the line. The school's contract? That covers the technology. But student confidentiality, your ethical duties, and those big federal laws like FERPA, well, that's all on you.
I know, it sounds super dramatic. But the line between being an innovative teacher and making a career-ending mistake is way, way thinner than you might think. So let's try something. I'm going to show you a few prompts. I just want you to read them and ask yourself one simple question. Is this a breach of confidentiality?
Okay, here's the first one. We've got specific students, we've got their specific learning needs, and even some really personal stuff going on at home. It just feels like you're giving the AI the context it needs to be helpful, right? Seems harmless enough.
All right, what about this one? No names this time, but we've got an age, a specific school, a certain behavior, a family situation, and even socioeconomic status. We're definitely getting more specific, but is it too specific?
And for our final one, we're dealing with some really sensitive health and special education info. Again, no name. This is the kind of stuff we handle every day to help our students succeed. So, what do you think? Which one of these actually crossed the line?
And the answer is all of them. Every single one. This is the absolute key lesson here. Even without a name, that unique combination of details, a diagnosis, a family crisis, a specific school, a behavior, can be more than enough to identify a student. And that is a huge privacy violation, a potential FERPA breach, and a serious, serious liability for you.
This really gets to the heart of it. Your school's IT department, they've done their job. They've secured the pipeline. But what you, the educator, decide to send down that pipeline, that is 100% your call and your responsibility. So the big question is, how in the world do we use these amazing tools without taking on a massive personal risk?
Well, we need a system. We need a professional protocol that just becomes second nature. And that's exactly where the SAFE framework comes in. It's a really simple, memorable way to protect your students, your school, and, yourself every single time you open up that AI chat window.
So here's how it works. It's basically a 4-step mental checklist. First, you secure your prompt. That means stripping out any and all sensitive data before you even think about hitting enter. Then you adapt AI into your workflow safely, fine-tune its general advice with your own expertise, and finally, execute your plan in the classroom. This whole process keeps the focus on your teaching craft, not on private student data.
Okay, so the framework sounds good in theory, right? But what does it actually look like day to day? Well, the easiest way to apply it is to think in 3 totally distinct security levels, and it all depends on the task you're trying to do.
First up is the basic level. This is going to be your go-to for most things. You use it when you're exploring new teaching methods, researching curriculum, or just brainstorming general ideas. The key rule: no student information whatsoever is involved. None.
Now, check this out. The unsafe prompt? It feels pretty anonymous, doesn't it? But here's the catch. Class-level performance data for a specific grade could pretty easily identify a school and its students. The safe prompt, on the other hand, makes it a professional question about teaching methods. It's a huge shift from analyze my data to teach me the principles.
Next up, we have the safe level. This is what you use when you need to talk about a specific scenario, but you have to completely strip it of all identifying details. You're basically turning a specific student's problem into a general professional case study that could apply to anyone.
And you can see that same change happen right here. The unsafe prompt names a specific school and a bunch of unique details about a child. The safe prompt, it asks for the exact same professional knowledge, behavior frameworks, but in a way that protects everyone and is useful for any student in that kind of situation.
And finally, there's the ultra-safe level. This is for your most sensitive topics, things like special education, where literally any combination of details is just too risky. For these, you have to zoom out completely. Think abstract frameworks and big-picture systems.
I mean, look at this. The unsafe prompt lists multiple specific conditions that could easily pinpoint a student in a typical high school. The ultra-safe version asks for the same expert advice, how to plan accommodations, but at the highest possible level. You're asking for the architectural blueprint, not for advice on one specific house.
So you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this feels a little paranoid. Why is this such a big deal? Well, it's because the second you hit enter, you completely lose control of that information. Let's just quickly trace the wild journey your data actually takes.
That simple prompt you wrote about Tommy, it doesn't just go to one place. It leaves your school, zips across the internet to the AI company's servers. Then it probably gets bounced between data centers in different countries and gets copied onto backup systems that might be in totally different legal jurisdictions. The point is, it creates a permanent global record. Everywhere. And this, right here, is probably the single biggest myth about AI. Hitting delete on that conversation does not erase the data. Not even close. It just hides it from your screen. The information you entered is now part of their system, baked into their models and stored in backups, potentially forever. This is why all the protection has to happen before you ever send the data in the first place.
So where does all this leave us? This isn't about being scared of AI, not at all. This is about being empowered. Learning how to talk to an AI safely and professionally is a brand new core skill for every single educator. It's about changing your requests from a risky data dump into a sharp, professional inquiry.
Let's just look at one last really powerful example. The unsafe prompt lists students in their labels. The safe, professional prompt describes the teaching techniques needed to support those students. You get the exact same high-quality help from the AI, but you've gotten rid of all the risk. You've totally shifted from talking about your students to talking about your craft.
And that really is the main takeaway here. This is not about restricting this incredible technology. It's about skill. It's about learning how to use one of the most powerful teaching tools we've ever had, but doing it with the expertise and professionalism that keeps the kids we serve safe. So the next time you're about to type a question into that chat box, just pause for a half second and ask yourself this. Are you about to create a powerful professional asset or a permanent personal liability? Because the choice and the responsibility is all yours.